As much as I respect Drew Goddard and Ridley Scott as filmmakers, let's be honest, they're not perfect. Drew Goddard's career path just seems to be getting better and better. First, he directs Cabin in the Woods, which was amazing, and then he becomes the showrunner for that awesome Netflix Daredevil show. But that was only after Cloverfield. And Scott kind of goes the other way. While his early films were iconic like Blade Runner and Alien, his last 3 films have been Prometheus, The Counselor, and Exodus. And while I've gotten over the Cloverfield clusterfield, and I didn't mind Prometheus or Exodus, hey listen, I think every biblical epic could use a little more Batman. And the point is that some things you can let go, some things you can't. The Martian actually had a really cool soundtrack, and when they had a chance to play an old school David Bowie song, they chose Starman over Life on Mars. I don't even care if the casting of Exodus was mildly racist. Some things are just unforgivable. I'm kidding, of course. I'm a big supporter of racial diversity within the arts. In fact, let me be the first to say that I'm actually upset about the casting of Matt Damon in the title role. Why couldn't they cast an actual Martian in the role? Racists. Perhaps that's the filmmakers trying to stay away from Mars as far as they can, because let's be honest, in the last 20 years, a movie about Mars has kind of been a death sentence. Iconic filmmakers like Brian De Palma, Tim Burton, and John Carpenter have all tried to make Mars movies and failed, but they didn't have 2 things that The Martian has: this cast and this script. With this eclectic group, it could easily be a Marvel superhero film with the Invisible Woman, the Winter Soldier, the future Baron Mordo, and Ant-Man's little sidekick. But who needs to see anything related to that Fantastic Four again? Or it could be a comedic flick with the talents of Kristen Wiig and Donald Glover. Or maybe even a space epic with Sean Bean, Jessica Chastain, and our lead, Matt Damon. Oh wait, that's what it is. It also happens to be one of the most well-balanced ensembles I have seen in a long time. You would think with this caliber of cast, with this many award-winning or award-nominated actors, that somebody might be left out or sidetracked. But the fact is, everybody gets a chance to shine. The truth is, I really wanted to be able to highlight somebody. I wanted to talk about how it's great to see Kate Mara in a great role, or a good movie once again. I wanted to talk about how Donald Glover channels a little Abed in his performance, or the fact that Sean Bean doesn't die. But I won't. However, the film itself, and the book it's based off of, is not entitled The Martian, His Crewmates, Most of NASA, and a Quirky Astrophysicist. It's important to note that this is about one character, and the balance doesn't just stop with the ensemble. No, the balance is actually between the ensemble cast and the lead actor. And you have to think about the challenge that both the filmmakers and Matt Damon faced while making this film. You think the science is the hard part? Try making an isolation film. More importantly, try doing a take on the subgenre of isolation films that hasn't been done before. We've seen plenty of successful examples. 127 Hours, Castaway, Life of Pi. We've even seen a subgenre of a subgenre in space isolation films with Gravity, Moon, and 2001 Space Odyssey. The crux is they may seem like Oscar gold, but they can also become very formulaic. The Martian is anything but, and that is partially due to the thoroughly engaging performance of Matt Damon as Mark Watney. Watney is a character who, even when facing unbeatable odds, is so full of life, humor, and wit that he changes the whole feel of an isolation film. In fact, the movie takes on its own life simply because of this lovable character. The Martian showed us an isolation film doesn't have to be all about delving into the depths of the central character's soul to rise above a desperate situation. Because let's face it, there are people like that on this earth. No pun intended, who can actually just laugh at any situation. And ultimately it has the same effect as a Castaway or 127 Hours. We don't need Watney to survive because he's gone through so much he needs to triumph. He needs to survive because we like him so much. Whew, good, because it kind of would have been awkward if you wanted the title Martian to stay on Mars. Damon creates such a genuine character who's so charming. You do believe that the whole world is watching his story, hoping he survives. He's the kind of guy you want to buy a beer for because he's a genuine hero. And that's why Matt Damon and Mark Watney are the Martians for the win. Drew Goddard's script is so full of life. Life on Mars! Okay, that's too much. What? Little random Bowie never hurt anyone. As I was saying, Goddard's script is so full of life, he's really showing what an A-list filmmaker and an A-list writer he can be, and he's definitely being acknowledged for that work recently. And I certainly hope, come award season, that the Academy Awards recognizes his adapted script. More importantly, Scott didn't Ridley it up. Scott just seemed to get out of the way on this one. He didn't want to personally tart it up or put his mark on it, which I think is amazing and also indicative of what I think was going on during the production. The director, the writer, the cast, the production team all seemed to be on the same page, and as a result they created one of the most captivating films I have seen in a long time. It could be my favorite film of the year, but it's definitely an earn it. Poll question, what is your favorite astronaut movie? As always, leave your answers in the comments section below. Be sure to subscribe to Real School, follow me on Twitter, and of course, if you get anything out of Real School, you can always give a little back. Just click the link, and you can become a Real School patron. But until next time, school's out.